Welcome to Ormiston Victory Academy. My name's Naomi Palmer and I'm principal here. Welcome to Ormiston Victory Academy. I'm so sorry that you're not able to come here and have a live visit this year. It's exceptional circumstances obviously, but we're trying to make this as much of a real experience for you having a look round as we possibly can. Traditionally our open evening is a really fun night where the whole family come along and really get to understand what the heart of the place is and meet lots of different members of staff. So we've asked everyone to put together some introductions for you so you still feel like you're getting that experience, and hopefully you'll be here soon enough to come and visit us in person. We pride ourselves on Victory being a happy environment. This is my 8th year as being principal here, and I think from day one I wanted the children to feel joyful in their learning and to feel like they were surrounded by adults who really care about what happens to them, that they're not just subject specialists or support or pastoral specialists, that they really want the best for the children and they're prepared to go above and beyond and give them the time that they deserve. And I'm really proud of the staff and I feel like they do that 100%. So the ethos is critical, I suppose, to me, that a happy child is a child who's able to learn efficiently. Children who don't enjoy their time at school don't get fantastic results. And we understand that the purpose of the school is to get those great results, so they're able to make fantastic choices for their future, so they're able to do the jobs that they want. And they can't get there unless they feel that they are cared for and they've got plenty of people to go to when things do go wrong and they do need help. We have extremely high expectations of our students in terms of their work ethos and how they're expected to get on with their work and respect their teachers and listen. In terms of behaviour, that every child has got the right to learn the best that they can without being disturbed by others. And so we also want to acknowledge that kindness is really important too. School isn't just about getting fantastic results and behaving brilliantly, it's about learning how to interact with other humans. You could get the best results in the world and still not be able to be kind to others and understand your place in the world, and it costs nothing. So we have our monthly kindness calendar and encourage children to use that too, and you can see that on our website. We always want every child who comes here to have at least one adult who they're able to talk to if something goes wrong. It's often their form tutor, but it might not be. It might be somebody from the safeguarding team. It might be a technician who they really get on with in science. It really depends. And we say to all the children, please make sure that there's one person who you can tell us you want to speak to when things aren't going well. Or equally, if you want to share a joyful event. So it's also about having one passion, and although our enrichment offer is more difficult than it usually is at the moment, we're really proud of the enrichment that we offer, and the children have a voice in that too. If they feel that they really want a particular club to be offered, we will always try to run that club and find the funding to go with it. Trips are a huge feature. Obviously they're a little compromised at the moment, but I'm hoping that by the time your child joins us, or you join us if you're a young person listening, that the trips will be fantastic and will be running as normal. We've run all sorts of visits before to Iceland, to Italy, to water sports in Spain, and on a daily basis got good relationship with other local institutions too. So we have trips to the castle, trips to art galleries, trips to local businesses, and it's a big focus on helping children in every year group, not just in year 11 or year 13, focus on the future and have appropriate careers guidance so that they know what they're aiming for later on. We do have a 3-year Key Stage 4, so they start the GCSEs at the beginning of year 9, and we firmly believe it's the right thing for our children. They have a big, rich, wide curriculum from when they join us in year 7, with lots of engaging practical subjects alongside traditional academic subjects that would fit into the EBAC suite of subjects. But we think they have enough of an experience by the time they get to the end of year 8 to be able to narrow down their selections in year 9. And in year 9 they have 4 options that they would choose, and we will help to guide you and we'll assist you as a family in what you might want to choose. But there is a big range available, so everything from languages to history, geography, sport, all kinds of subjects on offer there, so not limited at all. And if a child really wants to stay until the end of year 13, we have sixth form too, which again has that fantastic environment pastorally and academically, so they could be here for the next 7 years. And talking to you parent to parent, I think that's an important thing when you're deciding on a secondary school, that it feels right for your child, but also you know that actually they could be staying with there for a number of years, not just until the end of year 11. As part of this broadcast, we've also gathered in some questions from you, so we're going to be able to provide you with some answers, and I know that you've probably got lots more, and we'll find a way of providing responses for them. We know that places are limited, but we have, hopefully we'll have our extension completed by 2022, so we'll be able to make more families happy and offer them places. It's an honour to do the job that I do, and I really appreciate being able to value the community here. And I think there's a great relationship between us and the community, and I think they feel listened to and know that we'll respond if they feel that there's something more that we can do. And you have to choose the right school for your own child, and you know what's best for your child. I would never sit here and say Victory is the best choice for every single family in Norfolk, because I think that's your decision as a parent and you know what's best for your family. But we certainly always strive to do the best that we can. At our last Ofsted inspection, it was graded outstanding. That was in 2013. And inspection frameworks have moved on considerably. We've continued to work really hard to provide the very best that we can, but no school is perfect. And there is always something that we can do to keep improving, because we have different children who join us every year with different needs. So we will always keep trying to make things better and better. I really hope you enjoy watching this, and thank you so much for joining us.
I love Ormiston because it's a great school and you get to see lots of people, because when you're in year 6 you're kind of the oldest then, so you're an example to the little ones, but now the older ones are an example to you, so it's a real big step in life, but it's great, it's really worth it. Being outside in the playground is lovely, and meeting other people is something that everyone likes doing, and the teachers here are really nice, and just coming, having fun, meeting different teachers in different lessons, doing lessons you may not have done before, it's lovely.
I like Ormiston Victory because it's a chance to meet new people. I've settled in really well, and especially the uniform, it makes you feel a lot older than you are.
I really settled into the school, and I really like the big building because there's much more to do.
I settled in very well and I enjoy the new variety of lessons.
I like moving around the classrooms and meeting new teachers.
I love the academy so far, and I love performing arts, and the teachers are really helpful and the students, that's really.
At Victory, our aim is that every child has at least one chosen adult they can go to with a problem. We pride ourselves in our fantastic pastoral support system, and children here are supported by their heads of year for behaviour, form tutors, class teachers, the attendance team, the student services team, the safeguarding team and the student engagement team. It's a wide range of people that students can approach and talk to if things aren't quite going so well. In our new behaviour system, we ensure that students are able to learn without distractions. We ensure that students are ready, respectful and reasonable, and ready to learn and get the very best from their time here at Victory. We ensure our students are safe, happy and able to succeed, both inside and outside the classroom, and this includes our outstanding enrichment programme after school. Looking forward to seeing you all soon.
Hi everybody, my name is Miss Hannant and I'm an English teacher in the English department at Victory Academy. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about what you can expect from your Year 7 English. When you first come to the school, we're going to start the autumn term off with a 20th century novel. Some of you will be doing Animal Farm and some of you will read Underground Canada. Not only will we focus on how the writer develops the plot and the characters, we're also going to be exploring social and historical contexts of the novel. So this is the things that were happening at the time that the stories were written and how they kind of influenced the text. So for example, Orwell aims to expose and criticise aspects of the Russian Revolution, whereas Underground to Canada is set in the United States and focuses on the kind of years leading up to the Civil War and how hard it was for the black slaves living in the Deep South. So some really interesting context. And I really like teaching this personally because I think once you add in a context, the whole story seems to make a lot more sense and you kind of understand it in a completely kind of new way. It kind of opens your mind up to why the writer did the things that they did and how they get a message across about the time that they're writing about. After that, we will be moving on to the Gothic. So the Gothic unit, it's not only a chance to obviously read lots of Gothic stories and analyse the writer's methods and what makes them Gothic in terms of the style, but it will also be an introduction to reading a 19th century style text, which is going to be a really important skill for you when you get to your GCSE years. So hopefully by the time you get into year 10 and 11, you're going to be quite confident at reading the 19th century texts. After that, when we come back after Christmas, we're going to be starting the new year off with some poems, and these are, it's not just like any other poetry unit you may have studied before, these are poems from other cultures. So you will actually be taught how to read the poem in terms of the message, the speaker, the story of the poem, but also, again, we're bringing in that kind of social and historical context, looking at the culture that the poem comes from and how kind of images in that poem might reflect that culture. And I think, again, it's a real step up from what you may have done at primary school, but most students absolutely love looking at different cultures and they find it really interesting. After that, we will be doing some non-fiction stuff, and we're going to go into a context for this, so we're not just doing random bits of writing, we're actually looking at speeches throughout a period of history that are all related to the theme of justice. So we've got some extracts from the Civil Rights era in America, which Martin Luther King, some of you may already have heard of him at primary school, so we look at some of his speeches. We also look at some speeches for justice for women and other marginalised groups of society. So I'm hoping that you guys will find that really interesting. And I think not only are we going to be analysing these, we're also going to be writing our own speeches for a cause that we feel really passionate about, and using all of those persuasive techniques to make sure that our audience are really engaged in what we're trying to tell them, and we're trying to get our message across to them. After that, we will be doing A Midsummer Night's Dream. So it's your first experience of Shakespeare at high school, and A Midsummer Night's Dream is a lovely one to start with. It's a really light-hearted comedy, it's very enchanting, it's set in the forest, it's got lots of like illusory characters, and I think it's a really nice introduction, a really nice kind of prelude to the rest of Shakespeare. So when you get to year 8, obviously you'll do Romeo and Juliet, then you'll do Macbeth, and both of those plays are tragedies. A Midsummer Night's Dream is a comedy, so it's a lovely way to get you into Shakespeare. Don't worry though, we won't expect you to read the whole play, we're just going to read key extracts from the play. We're also going to watch some performances of the play, because obviously Shakespeare is meant to be performed, and we're going to be kind of engaging with some of the imagery, because it's such a figurative, rich text to get into, and I think you're going to start to appreciate that by the end of the unit. Finally, before you get to the end of your Year 7, we will be doing a narrative writing unit, and this is such a lovely way to end the year, because it's all about creative writing. It's about reading texts, looking at different styles, and then trying to kind of use those as inspiration for our own writing, and it's a lovely way to end the year. I really look forward to seeing you. Maybe I'll teach some of you as well, and yeah, good luck with the rest of Year 6.
Hello, my name's Mr Todd and I'm Deputy Director of English, and I'm mainly in charge for Year 8. Today I'm going to take you through some of the things we do from the beginning of Year 8 all the way through till you finish and go into Year 9. So after Year 7, when you join Year 8, the first thing you'll do is a modern novel, and one of the novels you might do is William Golding's Lord of the Flies. It's a fantastic story about boys marooned on an island with lots of killing. Following on from the modern novel, we'll move on to the Shakespeare unit, where we will study Romeo and Juliet. the story of two lovers in a constant conflict. Following that, in Spring 1, we'll move on to a writing unit where we look at the environment. This will include world leaders and how they treat the environment and the policies they make. We'll be doing some writing like letters, leaflets and posters. And as we move into Spring 2, we'll do war poetry, which is a unit based on poems that were written anywhere from the First World War to modern conflicts. Following that, we'll then finish the year on Summers 1 and 2 with Charles Dickens's 19th century text, Great Expectations.
Hello, welcome to the Maths Department here at Ormiston Victory Academy. I'm Miss Hazel and I'm one of the co-directors of Maths. Here in the Maths Department at Ormiston Victory, we're really passionate about all students being maths their starting point, being successful and enjoying mathematics. We've got a differentiated scheme of work here, which means that we have 3 different levels in order to support and challenge students so they can make as much progress as possible over the 5 years here. If you do have any questions about anything starting with September with your children going to AVA, please feel free to get in touch. Over to the other co-director.
Hello, my name is Miss Bradshaw. I'm the other Director of Mathematics here at Ormiston Victory Academy, and I've got a bit of a problem for you that I'm going to get you to solve. And while you're thinking about the problem, we're going to go and see which maths teachers are still in the building and introduce you to them. So the problem is, step 1, I want you to think of an integer between 1 and 10. And now, if you're not sure what the word integer means a whole number. So think of a whole number between 1 and 10. I then want you to multiply it by 9, that's step 2. Step 3, if your answer, after you've multiplied it by 9, is a 2-digit number, I'd like you to add those 2 digits together. So for example, if you got 45, you would add them together, 4 plus 5, and get 9. Then I'd like you to subtract 4 from your answer. Okay, now, don't tell anyone, or not, there may not be anyone there to tell at this moment in time, but if you're in class, I'd say to you, don't tell anyone, and keep it to yourself. Now, whatever your answer is, I want you to think about what letter that would be. So if A was equal to 1, B was equal to 2, and C was equal to 3, what letter would be assigned to your number? And now I want you to think of an animal that starts with that letter. Okay, and we'll come back to that in a second. But now, should we go see if we can find some maths teachers? Absolutely. See who's still here. Go find some maths teachers! Oh. The
Hi, I'm Miss Person and I enjoy teaching geometry.
Hi, I'm Mr. Frankowski and I enjoy teaching algebra.
Guys, we'll find some more.
Hi, I'm Miss Matthews and I teach maths and my favourite number is 25.
Hi, I'm Miss Harnius. My favourite mathematician is Matt Parker and I also teach maths.
Guys, right, let's go back. So they were just some of the maths teachers here at Ormiston Victory Academy. There are actually about 12 of us now, so there are plenty more for you to meet. And I know I speak on behalf of everyone, all of them, when I say that they're really looking forward to hopefully meeting you next year. But anyway, back to the problem. So hopefully you got your answer and you assigned it to a letter. And if you did it correct, everybody should have had the same letter. So if we were in class, I would say on the count of 3, everybody tell me your animal. And I'm going to bet that you went for elephant. And I'd love to know in September if I'm correct. The answer should have been 5, the letter should have been E, and most of the time people go for elephant.
So the gas taps that come out of our gas taps here is a gas called methane. So if I bubble this methane through here, you'll see bubbles start to come up. Now, because methane is lighter than the air that we have, these bubbles are going to rise, they're going to float, and they're going to come to the top, like you can see here. So while this is bubbling away nicely, I'm just going to take my meter stick and head over to our Bunsen burner, just to light our splint. Fantastic, okay, now that's lit. Our lovely assistant here, with wet hands, is going to take a handful of the methane bubbles, Now methane is a flammable gas. So when I introduce a flame, voila. Okay, and the reason why that was safe to do and has not harmed our wonderful glamorous assistants is because they had wet hands to start with to avoid any burns. We'll do one more. So again, the light flammable gas of methane in bubble form. So when we introduce a flame, hold on.
Okay, so I'm going to show you how different metal ions, prepared by our glamorous assistant over there, make different coloured flames when you put them in a Bunsen burner. So I'm going to show you copper first. Just goes a lovely green colour. Then I'm going to show you calcium. Which is a beautiful orangey colour. And then I'm going to show you strontium. Just like an orangey red. Probably more red. Okay.
In the test tube is potassium chlorate, which is an oxidizing agent. I'm going to add the jelly baby, which is made from sugar, and the potassium chlorate will oxidize the jelly baby, producing a screaming sound.
Hi, welcome to the beauty school at Ormiston Victory Academy. This is our salon. We offer a GCSE beauty qualification for year 9, 10 and 11.
This can be continued through to years 12 and 13, as you can see the students demonstrating here. At years 12 and 13 we operate a full working salon for clients, parents, friends and family to come in for treatments.
Students start their business studies looking at academic issues, but we try and relate it to the real world as quickly as possible. So we start to consider companies that students know really well, and we go into town and look at the marketplace differently with a more academic approach, and we look at businesses and we compare them, and we look at the competition, the footfall in the marketplace, the target audiences, and we try and apply the theory we've learned in the classroom to the context of the real world. We also take students to London. We've taken them to a bank where we learn some of the more challenging economic aspects behind business, like interest rates and inflation, but we did it in an institution, and then they got to see, how different it was in London compared to Norwich, but all the time thinking in the context of their learning.
Welcome to computing. I'm Miss Youngman. From year 7 we study computing. Computing offers ICT and computer science topics in order to give you an idea of what each of those subjects entails. ICT and computer science are available here at GCSE and at A-level. As you can see, the subjects that we do in each of those are standard ways of working and e-safety. We do basic IT, internet searching, PowerPoint and Word, and we also then look at coding, so HTML and Scratch, as well as basic spreadsheets and databases, and an introduction to coding using Python. In year 8, we then start looking at what the computer is like and how it works inside. and we do more advanced spreadsheets and databases, and then we start looking at coding, so algorithms, and then looking at programming using Python. You will probably have coded in Scratch before, but in Year 7 you will use HTML and CSS in order to code a website. Here is an example of CSS code. Can you figure out what it means?
Hello, my name is Mrs Misen and I am Director of Creative Studies. Our faculty has a number of subjects within it, so we have art and textiles and photography and DT and catering, and you will get to study all of those subjects across Key Stage 3. It's a really, really lovely place to be, and within the art department you will get to study art, craft and design, textiles, and within Year 8 you get to do a little bit of photography as well. You'll get to develop loads of skills, so you'll get to paint, you'll get to draw, you'll get to work with 3D materials, you'll learn how to take photographs, you will learn how to work with textiles materials and sew. All these skills are really important, and you'll also learn a whole range of ideas behind new artists and designers and architects and photographers, and all that information will help develop your own personal work. You'll be taught by a whole range of wonderful teachers who are artists as well, and they are really passionate about their subject. The most important thing in the art department is that you will get to have fun, and you will get to develop those creative skills that will help you in any area of your school life. So we're really, really looking forward to meeting you, and see you soon.
Welcome to DT. I bet you're wondering what technology actually is, and most people think, ooh, technology, it's a phone miss, or they think it's something like this, which is great. I love this, right? Made this. We're using this for our Year 9 at the moment, and this shows mechanisms. And if I do that, and open it up, another bit of technology drops out, which is a USB key. And people go, oh, technology. But if I say to you, that's technology, and that's technology. That's a nice potato peeler. And that bit of jewellery is a technology. And even better, that's technology. Then that gets you really thinking. Technology isn't as complicated as you think it is. Technology needs engineers. Everything in the world is engineered. Absolutely everything. From the things you've got in your school bag, to the things you travel around on, to the phone that you use, but so are the paper clips, and so are the products you use on your hair, the trainers you wear on your feet, and they've all involved an engineer. In this department we teach design, technology and engineering. We're teaching you to be young engineers, and that's what's going on here. We've got the Year 9 stuff. They're doing lots of work on the space race at the moment. You probably won't see that very clearly. Year 13 have gone further up the tree, and they're doing science and maths things to do with materials. But from the very beginning that you walk into the school, we will be doing things with you that will challenge you, and it's about problem solving. Over on that table over there, we have our curriculum currently and previously. So for Key Stage 3, so when you come into the school, normally you'd have been making a pull-along toy like this. Now unfortunately with the COVID curriculum at the moment, we're having to do things differently because it's very complicated to teach in a workshop and keep people safe. And our primary job in this workshop with these machines is to keep you safe. But also with COVID, we've got to keep you safe from the virus. So we've changed our curriculum very, very slightly to make it more about you investigating the problems, because technology is problem solving. So for instance, if you are in Year 7 at the moment, this week you'll be looking at mechanisms. So we're actually beginning to look at mechanisms. And the reason we're looking at these mechanisms, this is a gear race, that is great this is, I'm not going to let this go on the floor because you won't be able to film it, it's very fast, is because the pull-along toy is a mechanism. And we're showing you how it fits within technology. If you're in Year 8 this week, you'll be doing risk assessment. And we'll be doing risk assessment on this machine here, which would teach you how you actually identify hazards, how you actually specify what they are, and what measures you put in place to keep yourself safe. And again with COVID, we've got you doing risk assessments on everything. By the time you get to year 9, I just mentioned the space race, we're doing a STEM curriculum into Mars and the colony for a million people on Mars by 2050, which is going to happen if Elon Musk has his way, because the first manned mission will go up in 2029. Now we do other things. Last week my lovely year 8s were learning about how technology talks to technology and how we design things on a computer and send them to machines here. And over here we've got a special machine called a laser cutter, and we send things from your drawings to the laser cutter, and then they're converted into a language laser cutter understands, then the laser cutter does its job. And Mr. Hindle's going to turn on the laser cutter in a minute to show you how the laser cutter maps out the path with its red light. Mr. Hindle, over to you. You've seen the complicated bits and the small bits, and this is an amazing invention. I often say this to people: take a piece of wire, bend it 3 times, and you have the perfect solution to a problem. And that's what a young engineer does. So if you're coming here and you want to be an engineer, this is the sort of problem you've got to solve. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Welcome to Ormiston Victory Academy. I'm Mrs. Rowe, I'm Head of Geography here at the school. We have a fantastic geography department and we cover a number of range of topics, which I'll leave Mr. Rogers to go through with you.
Hi guys, welcome to Ormiston Victory Academy Geography Department. I'm Mr. Rogers and you'll see me next year teaching geography. Just before I start this experiment, I wanted to let you know what you might find in geography at year 7 and year 8. We're going to do loads of different stuff, from rivers and coasts all the way to Asia. We're also going to be studying a little bit about tectonics, which means earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Today I'm going to do a little demonstration about how volcanoes can or cannot be predicted. So we're going to imagine this is our volcano, this party popper here. I'm just going to suspend it from this clamp here, and I'm going to add these weights onto the clamp until the party popper pops. When the party popper pops, that will be our symbol of a volcano exploding. Now, predicting volcanoes is really, really important. If we can accurately predict a volcano, we can reduce death and reduce the cost of eruptions. So this is hopefully going to demonstrate, hopefully, the challenges of doing this. So I'm going to add on this first weight. This is a kilo, and I'm going to add it on to our volcano here. And it shouldn't pop now. But at this stage, we're probably thinking, if this is our volcano, perhaps there's been an earthquake 100 miles away and looking like it might erupt. Perhaps the water temperature around the volcano started to increase a little bit further. So I'm going to add some more weight. Perhaps there's another tremor, another volcanic tremor. Maybe there's now a vent on the side of the volcano, smoke coming out the top, looking like we're about to get an eruption. As the pressure on the earth increases, the likelihood of a volcanic eruption increases. And I'm going to keep on adding weight. Okay, at this point, guys, I really feel like the scientists are probably going to be telling nearby towns and cities to evacuate. It's looking really likely that a volcano is about to erupt. I hope that we have enough weight. This volcano is really, really good at resisting an eruption. So let's carry on going. And there you go. Thankfully, the scientists evacuated the towns and everyone is safe. So yes, you can hopefully look forward to more of that in geography in year 7 and year 8.
Hello, my name is Mr Mayhew and I'm the Head of History here at Ormiston Victory Academy. I just want to tell you about some of the fun things that you'll be doing when you come to the school and what you'll be doing in your history lessons. So, in terms of history, we've redesigned our curriculum to make it more inclusive, to make it more interesting and to really delve into what happened in the past and how Britain and the world developed into what we have today. So when you come here, the first thing you'd start at is looking at toilets. Well, more than toilets, but looking at sanitation and public health. And it's a nice introduction, going right back to the Iron Age, right through to the 19th century, and looking at how sanitation developed and changed. And it gets you into the skills that we need you to have, looking at changing continuity, developing your ability to write. And it's really fun, and to be honest, it's fairly disgusting, and people like that. We then move on to look at the medieval world, and we look at a whole range of different things, looking at things like, well, why did William win the Battle of Hastings? What really mattered to people in the Middle Ages? And one that I'm very excited about this year was Timbuktu, the jewel of the medieval world. So the idea is we're going to try and look at how the world develops, but also try and look at the way that England and Britain wasn't quite as simple and as plain as people think in the past. We'll be using the work of historians. During Year 7 we look at the work of Miranda Kaufman and her excellent book Black Tudors, and looking at how actually in the past there were diverse communities that many people don't know about. So hopefully when you come here you'll enjoy it as much as many of our pupils do at the moment, and I look forward to seeing you.
Hello, hola, ni hao and bonjour. My name is Mrs. Bayao, Director for Modern Foreign Languages.
And I'm Miss Merchant, Deputy Director of MFL. I speak and teach Spanish and French.
I'm Miss Aves, Head of Year 11 at the moment, and I speak French, Spanish and German.
And I'm Dr. Vashnek and I speak German, Spanish and French.
At Ormiston Victory Academy, we offer an exciting range of languages, as we offer not only German and Spanish, but also Chinese Mandarin. Year 6s are given the chance to choose which language they would like to study, and they begin from day 1 in Year 7, right through to the end of their GCSEs. Our own experience has shown us that studying the same language for 5 years leads to better levels of the language and higher grades.
Previously, we have run trips to Germany, France and Spain with great success. Pupils come back saying that they felt much more confident in the language, which then correlated to more confidence in their exams. For many, it was also the first time to experience the culture outside of the classroom, be it in the German Christmas markets, navigating the streets of Paris or trying tapas in Valencia.
We believe these experiences to be the most important in a young person's life, and it is our hope that in the next couple of years we will be able to run these trips again.
So if you have any questions or would like to know more, please email me on the address below. We would love to hear from you. Tschüss, adios and au revoir.
Hi, welcome to Performing Arts at Ormiston Victory Academy.
The best subject.
We realise that this will probably be a new concept to you, but we are sure that the Performing Arts family will welcome you with open arms.
We are all in our last year at high school as performing arts students, and we love every second. Although it can be stressful, we promise you every difficult task is worth it.
Performing Arts at OVA offers a wide variety of opportunities covering singing, dancing and acting, such as musicals, concerts, dance companies, drama and singing clubs and much more.
If you are not as keen on performing arts, there are many more ways you can get involved, such as the backstage crew. Performing arts has helped massively grow our confidence, leading us to embark in many opportunities that we wouldn't if it wasn't for performing arts teaching us to believe in ourselves.
One of the main things to take away from this experience is to know that you'll have loads of memories that will last your lifetime.
Because of performing arts at OVA likes to involve all arts and creativities, we like to get creative across all subjects, including the library.
We are Victory students living in these victory halls. We sing victory songs, you sing the victory halls. We'll be victory students till our time is done. But for now you're starting school, don't be revolting. This is our drama studio at Victory. I'm now going to introduce you to the main drama teacher, Miss Dalglish.
Oh, hi girls. Just sorting out the cupboard. Hello, I'm Mrs Dalglish, otherwise known as Mrs D. Really looking forward to welcoming you to Victory Academy. See you soon.
The drama aspect of performing arts involves learning about various theatre practitioners, creating your own performances and also having the opportunity to watch many performances and much, much more.
In Year 7, you'll be able to take part in many different types of lessons which are extremely fun and memorable. We can still remember certain lessons all the way back from Year 7. You definitely won't forget them.
Next up is the music room, and I'm going to introduce you to Miss Carson, who we like to class as the mum of performing arts.
Hi, but girls, why am I wearing this ridiculous miner's hat?
Because Miss Dalglish found it in the cupboard.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Anyway, music in Year 7 will involve many things, such as learning to play the piano and getting to grips with the basics.
We all found our music lessons extremely fun when we moved to Year 7, and this room is also one of the places where we started our performing arts journey. Another thing that PA helps you do is socialise with all people from other year groups, so be sure to make loads of friends.
Finally, this is the dance studio. Our main teacher here will be Mr. Ormond, and if you decide to take dance further, you'll meet Miss Bradshaw. 5, 6, 7. Why are we wearing these ridiculous outfits?
Because Miss Dalglish found them in the post cupboard.
Dance Year 7. Although you may not have done dance before, you'll meet and learn and discover lots of new subjects, including contemporary, hip-hop, and much, much more.
We all loved having the opportunity to learn many different styles of dance in Year 7, as it made us discover what we liked. And as mentioned before, you also get the opportunity to do many extracurriculars involving dance. Now, we are going to introduce you to how we love involving creativity within beauty.
Your story's sad to tell, a teenage ne'er-do-well, most mixed up, non-delinquent on the block. Your future's so unclear now. What's left of your career now? Can't even get it traded on your smile. Dum-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Beauty school dropout, no graduation day for you. Beauty school dropout, missed your midterms and flunked shampoo. Well, at least you could have taken time to wash and clean your clothes up after spending all that dough to have the doctor fix your nose up. Better get moving. Why keep your feeble hopes alive? What are you proving? You got the dream, but not the drive. If you go for your diploma, you can join us in a pool, turning that teasing cold and go back to high school.
And now we'll show you how we incorporate performing arts and catering.
My teacher tells me all the things that I need. I take the sugar and butter from the pantry. I add the flour to begin, but my learning will start, and then it's done with a recipe and baked in the oven. We hope you enjoyed getting to know Performing Arts at Victory, and we hope to see you soon.
Hello Year 6 and welcome to PE and Sport at Ormiston Victory Academy. My name is Mrs Duncan and I am the Joint Curriculum Leader for PE and Sport. I'm going to give you a brief overview of all of the lovely activities that we teach in Year 7 PE and also after school in our extracurricular enrichment programme. Firstly, I'd like to introduce you to the PE team. All of these lovely people on the screen are PE teachers at the school, so hopefully you will have an opportunity to meet them next year. When you come to PE, we will focus on some key areas. We will develop your key skills, knowledge and understanding in at least 6 different sports. We make sure you study a variety of team and individual sports, including football, netball, hockey, rounders, cricket, athletics, etc. We also develop your knowledge and understanding of health and fitness. And in Autumn 1, we have a particular focus on the importance of warm-up and cool-down. In addition to your normal PE lessons, we offer a full extracurricular and enrichment programme. This gives students the opportunity to experience new and diverse activities. We have a wide variety of recreational clubs which are available before and after school. There is also the opportunity to represent the academy in a team sport such as netball or football, where you can compete against other schools in the league. We also run inter-college competitions throughout the year in a variety of sports such as dodgeball and badminton. So this is a very brief overview of all the wonderful things that we offer. I'm now going to show you a video of some lovely pictures of students taking part in all of our extracurricular and enrichment activities. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you next year. Bye-bye.
Hello again, it's Mr. Todd. As well as an English teacher, I'm also Director for HPA. And HPA stands for High Prior Attainers. And basically that means students who have achieved 105 plus on their SAT scores go into a group that we call HPA. We're really proud of our HPA provisions at the Academy, and many of the things we do cover a wide range of the core subjects and the arts as well. For example, we have STEM learning, which stands for science, technology, engineering and maths. It's a really difficult and challenging but thoroughly rewarding way to get involved with STEM learning. We also have what we call the Victory Scholars programs, and these are based on a university-style learning project in arts, history and English literature. As well as that, we have the annual spelling bee, which is really quite challenging as you get through the rounds. Including the spelling bee, we have the United Kingdom Mathematics Trust. The maths have a great department and really push our higher level students. And also, we have GEMS. This is something I'm really passionate about. And GEMS stands for Girls in Engineering, Mathematics and Science. If you have any questions about HPA, is when you come to the Academy, we'll make a record of who you are and you will automatically receive a parent booklet for higher prior attainers, in which it will tell you everything you need to know for HPA. I'm very passionate about my HPA position, and I think it's the duty of all schools and teachers to push high level learning as far as it can go. Right, all kinds of things to do, and maybe there's summer holidays. It's up to you what you write, and we absolutely have such a successful 2 years now with the Bugle. I can't wait for you to come and for you to join, and maybe you might get a Bugle Award as well. When you get here, speak to me, ask for Mr. Todd, and we'll look at getting you onto the Bugles list. Hello again, it's Mr. Todd and welcome to our fully stocked library. We're very proud of our library, and it's open in normal times. It'll be open from about 8:30 until 4:30. One of the other services we're really proud of is Mr. Arge's career service, and if you look here you can see how dedicated we are to looking for careers in the future for all of our students. If you're from the area, may have been to another of our themed evenings based on superheroes, and we've had Goosebumps, and they've been, again, like the Harry Potter, has been a fabulous success, and another thing that we look really forward to each year. I'm just going to take you over here and introduce you to our librarian, Miss Cole. She's responsible for all of the things that you see around here. We also believe at the Academy that enrichment is a massive part of learning, and that just basically means we do things outside of the classroom. We're very proud of our literacy-based enrichment. For example, I've already mentioned the Bugle, but we have several writing competitions that operate with the UEA, which is called Undercover Readers and Undercover Writers. We have the Norfolk Children's Writing. And in normal times, we have many visiting authors, from Mark Grist, who's an amazing and very funny poet. He does lots of funny stuff. He used to work in a school, and he's great to see. He's been here several times. We have Alexander Gordon-Smith, who's a very well published writer of children's fiction. He's been here several times as well. We've had Charlie Higson. Some of the older folks out there might remember Charlie Higson from The Fast Show, but he's now a writer, and he's been here as well. We have lots of people coming, but of course it's great to read novels as well, and we have our Elite Reviewers Book Club, and once a week they'll get together, they'll bring their lunch over, and they'll choose from a selection of books, and they will talk about them, and eventually they'll write their reviews, and they get published onto our website. We even had David Walliams like us on Twitter for the work we're doing in literacy. Well, I hope that's given you some information on the library. We are very proud of our library at the Academy, and I really can't wait to see you all in the new year.
And I look forward to meeting you too.
Hello, my name is Miss Waters and I am the SEND Director at Ormiston Victory. My role here is to ensure that every child who has specific needs or disabilities are supported fully during their time at the Academy. I run a team of 14 learning and teaching assistants, and those staff will run interventions which range from literacy and numeracy right through to social, emotional and mental health support. It is our aim in the Academy that the children are supported to access full-time education in a mainstream academy. I know and appreciate that every child is unique, therefore if you have a question or a query about your child's provision here at Ormiston, please call me or email me and we can discuss your needs and your child's needs on a one-to-one basis. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
We really hope that you've enjoyed our virtual tour of Ormiston Victory Academy. We're really sorry that you couldn't come in person this year, and we know it's not the same, but we hope it's given you a really good idea as to what we offer at Ormiston Victory Academy, how we support our students, the sorts of fantastic enrichment and all the broad curriculum areas that we can offer as well. So we really hope that that's given you a good idea as to whether you think Ormiston Victory Academy is the right place for your child. If you do have any further questions, please do email me at the email that appears on the screen now, and good luck with your choices. We hope to see you soon.
Good evening everybody, and thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to those of you who submitted questions. I'm going to try and answer them now so that you all feel like you're getting some kind of individual feedback, but obviously if you have questions after hearing the answers that I have here, you can still email using the same address and get in touch with us that way, and I'll just reply to you personally. First of all, I have a question that says, how many students are in your school across the year groups? Well, currently our capacity is 1,250 students across the school. So we have 210 in each year group from year 7 to year 11 plus the sixth form. And although our plan is 210, we have taken additional students over the past few years to try and meet local need. So we're currently at about 1,300 students altogether. Next question is, do students stay in their home or form rooms in year 7 and teachers move to them unless it's a lesson which obviously needs specialist equipment? Okay, so at the moment that is the case where they are more based in their lessons. They are in specialist rooms, but that's more of a COVID precaution that we have at the moment where we've minimised the amount they move. But obviously by next year, fingers crossed, everything is going to be back to what was perhaps normal, where we would move them to their specialist teachers for each lesson, because in order to access a full specialist curriculum they do need to move teachers for each lesson. And in creative studies, for example, they get to try a whole range of different subjects that would require them being in specialist rooms for that. How many different buildings are the subjects spread across? Okay, so it's quite a big area here, and it's almost like a sort of university campus in lots of ways. So we've got 4 main building areas. We've got the big main building here at the moment, and when we get to 2022, the extension will be of a sort of similar design to this. That's a 3-storey one, but we've got other blocks as well, and one is for maths lessons predominantly, one is for humanities lessons predominantly, and one is 6th form block as well. And in the main building we have lots of mixed lessons. What year do students start their GCSE subjects? Okay, so we've stuck with them starting them in year 9 because they can take 4 options and they have plenty of time to study them. So they're not getting a narrower curriculum from year 9. We think it's still really rich and varied, and it gives them the opportunity to try out those subjects, and we can still make those tweaks during year 9. So if they get to the start of year 10 or halfway through year 9 and think, actually I don't want to be doing this subject at all, we can help them and support them through that process. The careers guidance and provision is fantastic, so we would always want to support that if they had an end goal that they wanted to reach, or they just have particular areas that they're interested in. That's not just a year 11 or year 13 thing. We look at that right from year 7 all the way through. Does the school offer after school activities? Again, I'll give you the sort of COVID version of it at the moment and the not COVID version. We've got fantastic enrichment programs. So normally there's a whole range of trips going out all the time that sometimes incorporate different year groups all over the place. Several overseas trips which we like to give parents really good notice of. So if you want your child to be part of the Spanish water sports trip, for example, which is largely Key Stage 3. There's plenty of time to prepare for that and pay for that. We've run trips to Iceland before. In terms of just after school activities, there are lots, and they range from robotics to dance to 6 different types of dance to history club, science experiment club. At the moment we're obviously doing them by year group to make sure that we don't merge those bubbles that children have been put into to keep them safe. But yes, there's a huge range, and there's also homework club as well. So if you want your child to get on with their homework and you want to pick them up a little bit later, perhaps because of your job, and you need to have them here a bit longer, they can go to homework club and get on, which is usually in our lovely library. Is bullying taken seriously and at your school, and close monitoring and help for victims addressed? Now, we've spent an awful lot of time over the past few years making sure that we've got a really robust pastoral system, because we truly believe that if they're not happy and safe, they can't possibly learn and go on to get fantastic results. So each year group has got a head of year, which is quite traditional, but they've also got a head of year who's not a teacher, so they're available to speak to. And I think it's safe in saying that even year 7, you haven't been here for very long, are well aware of who their head of year and their head of year for behaviour is in terms of supporting them with any pastoral issues. And because we believe that their mental health is hugely important and they've got to be well and happy when they come to school, we've just started a programme of anti-bullying ambassadors who are going to be our red card ambassadors, who will help us address that as well from a student's perspective. We've also got a school counsellor who we fund for 2 days a week, who has got a list of students who he sees according to their needs, but it's possible to have a referral to him. He's amazing. And this year we've appointed a social, emotional and mental health worker to help, particularly with students who struggle with the day-to-day stresses of school and need somebody to talk them down from when they feel like they're not coping and get them back into lessons in a gentle way. We tried to personalise it a bit so we've got somebody for everybody's need. In terms of restorative justice, that's hugely important to us. So we've just implemented our Ready to Learn behaviour system. So if you've got an older child, you'll be familiar with this, where there are very few chances to not learn properly and work hard before you end up being removed from the lesson if you're disturbing other people. And that's a very gentle calm way of approaching things when we have an issue with people not behaving in a way that we want them to, not doing things in that victory way. But restorative justice is a really key part of that, and it would be a really key part of it if a child was bullied as well. And sometimes that can involve getting both families together in a meeting to try and talk about the impact of that on the child and what's happened at home. So yes, we do take it very seriously, and yes, there is close monitoring for any victims of that. If you speak to any head teacher at any school in the country and they say bullying never happens in school, it's not the truth, because it does. We've all been young people and we know that there can be that cruelty amongst youngsters, and we need to face it head on and make sure we address it. Okay, so next question is, can you advise if your extension will be completed by next year and if this will increase the school's capacity for 2021 intake? Sadly, it won't be completed by next September. It's due to be completed by probably May 2022 so that we can make sure it's open for September 2022. And unfortunately, I can't make that go faster. In terms of capacity though, in terms of whether you feel like your child is going to get a place here, we are oversubscribed, but I promise you what we will always try and do every year is squeeze in as many students as is safe to do so. So certainly for the past 4 years, we haven't taken 210 in a year group, we've taken more than that, because the need locally has been that way. And we often get parents who don't get a place who will then appeal as well, and sometimes appeals are successful, but I can't address the space issue ready for next September. But don't not apply to come here because of that. I'd still urge you to give it a go. Okay, so we have a question here about what support is available to children with autism who are academically bright but have difficulties controlling their emotions. Well, in terms of our SEMH worker who I was just talking about, that would probably be a key person who supports a child who had those particular needs. Our SEN director is fantastic, and she's already started personalising work for those particular children joining us this year in Year 7 who need particular strategies. I think it's difficult to say what we would do in general because every child is different, so we would want to put a package around each child and make sure that they have what they needed in order to be successful. You know, I can't disclose information about particular students, but in my head I'm picturing particular students who have that challenge where they are very, very bright but they have difficulty controlling their emotions, and what we always try and do is make sure they've got one key person who they can relate to. So it would be somebody who they chose to speak to, who's able to manage their emotions with them as a team and get them through that and get them back into lessons to make sure that they can excel. And finally, I think we've got a question about activities and clubs again. So are there any activities or clubs involving art and photography? Well, the art department are very, very keen on supporting any student who's got a real passion for art and photography. So yes, we do have clubs for that. We also have, though we haven't had it this year for obvious reasons, the Ormiston exhibition at the Sainsbury Centre. So for children who really excel, they can get their work involved in that exhibition, which is supported by Ormiston Families and Ormiston Trust, and they do a fantastic job of really promoting the arts. Our Head of Creative Studies, Rebecca Misen, is the Ormiston National Lead for the Arts as well, so is always fueling fantastic projects that would really engage children's imagination. So at the moment, there's a big recovery curriculum that's happening in creative arts to help children move forward from the experiences that they've had during lockdown and that loneliness and confusion about where we go next. I know that's still very, very prevalent with our young people, but they're doing something constructive about it through the arts, and there's a big project planned for the next few weeks to help every child in the school deal with their feelings about that. So the arts in general are a huge part of what we do. So yes, there will be clubs for that. Thank you very much for your questions, and if you would like to submit further questions, or they're ones that are very specific to your particular situation, then please do feel free to email me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.